Yo, happy Friday, everyone. How you all doing? Welcome to numero uno of 3 Bullet Friday. This is a new thing I'm going to be doing every Friday, and I'm going to share 3 things that have come up during the week for me, with my coaching clients, with my RTT clients, and probably a bunch of other stuff as well. Now, I'm totally nicking this from a guy called Tim Ferriss. You may know him. He's the author of The 4 Hour Work Week, The 4 Hour Body, The 4 Hour Share, lots of 4 hours. But he's a great guy, and he does this newsletter every Friday. He's done it now probably for the last 3 or 4 years, every Friday without fail, called The 5 Bullets. And it's just stuff that he's doing, listening to quotes and stuff like that. Out of all the stuff that I get on email, and I get a lot of crap, this is brilliant. I really look forward to it. So I'm totally nicking this from Tim Ferriss, full disclosure. And yeah, I hope you find this stuff useful. So I'm going to stick to the kind of normal format. I'm going to share 3 tips across my typical coaching journey that I take my clients through, which is clarity, alignment, self-leadership. There is also a stage called momentum as well, but we'll cover that off on a different call. So number 1, clarity. I shared a post earlier this week on LinkedIn that did really well, all about instincts. I've been thinking a lot about what our instincts reveal to us if we take the time to acknowledge them and become aware of them. And in many ways, the way that we instinctively respond to events in and around our lives, and I'm talking about that chain of events, the emotions, the thoughts and the actions that spring up when things happen around us, good and bad, they're almost like our subconscious programming giving itself away. If you're aware of your instinctive reactions, you can learn an awful lot about stuff that you might need to do a little bit of work on, a little bit of reprogramming on. And like I said, that works for good and bad. I'll give you an example. I've been doing in the background a little bit of work on money. You know, I think we all have a few issues around money, to a greater or lesser degree. So I've been doing a little bit of tidying up around there. And earlier this week, I had some good news out of the blue. And I became very aware that my response to that wasn't very healthy. I got a sort of a bit coy and a bit awkward and a bit like, I try to rationalize it instead of going, oh, hell yeah, awesome. And, you know, and acknowledging it, that I deserved and it was good, and really helping support the stuff that I'm trying to change. So number 1, clarity, check in with your instincts. They can reveal a lot of information about things that you might need to do a little bit of tidying up on. Number 2 is alignment. I love doing alignment with my clients. It's such a breakthrough moment in our work together. And alignment is really just about getting energetically, so internally aligned with what we want, so clearing out any limiting beliefs or anything else that's going on in the subconscious. And we usually do that through RTT and hypnotherapy, but we also do it through sort of inner belief work as well, but also externally as well, your physical alignment, making sure you're lining up everything in your physical world to support what you're trying to achieve, the people you're hanging out with, the stuff you're reading, your habits, you know, everything that can have an effect on what you're trying to achieve needs to be congruent and lined up and consistent with achieving that. So an alignment tip for this week is about a quote I shared on my Facebook. I think it was on my stories or something that I read. I can't remember where I read it now. I'll try and remember before the end of this. Went along the lines of seeking and taking advice from people who are no closer to where you want to be is the best way of staying exactly where you are. I love that. There's so much going on in that quote. There's stuff around comfort zones, self-belief, self-evaluation. There's so much packed into that. There's so much wisdom. Because at the end of the day, if you're trying to get somewhere, grow something, do something, be something, you have to be very mindful about the type of people that you're seeking advice from. And there's a real skill in knowing who to ask. I know that sounds really simple, but there's a real skill in knowing who to ask. And fundamentally, you need to make sure that they are way ahead of you in terms of what you're trying to do. And if you stay within your comfort zone, by the way, I'm not dissing your friends and family and your people that you speak to, and I'm sure they're super cool and lovely and they've got great advice for you. But if you're trying to level up, you've got to ask people that are either there or further ahead of that. Otherwise, you're just not going to get the advice you need. And that's what I'm talking about, alignment, making sure that you're making conscious choices around aspects of your life that are supporting you and doing what you want to do. And finally, a leadership. We get clear, we get aligned, then we have to go and take action. And I want to talk about the difference between motion and action. If you've ever heard of a guy called James Clear, if you haven't, and you want to read more about this, just type into Google, James Clear, motion versus action. It's a killer article. He knocks you on the floor and he doesn't let you get up again until you really understand what this is all about. And it's so important. Motion, planning, research, thinking, creating, beard stroking, analyzing, coming up with ideas, all that stuff, all super important. Action, talking to people, reaching out to people, having conversations, nurturing conversations, serving with no attachment, the stuff that has a measurable effect on what you're trying to achieve. Now, if you look at most people who aren't quite where they want to be, you can almost guarantee that the balance is probably 80% in motion, 20% action. And look, like I said, there's nothing wrong with that, because you know what? That was me for pretty much the last 25 years of my life. I was brilliant at sitting in quiet rooms and thinking. I wasn't so good at taking the big, scary, uncomfortable action that would make that thinking come to fruition. Where we need to get to is we need to readdress the balance. We need to get to 80, 90, 95% action, and then the rest is all around being in motion. So have a look at what you're doing day in, day out, week to week, motion versus action. Try and put the emphasis on action, and you'll see phenomenal results in what you're trying to do. That's it. That's the first episode, I guess, of 3 Bullet Friday. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to enjoy this. And likewise, if this has helped and resonated, give us some love in the comments below, or share it with people that might need to hear it. If you want to talk to me about my work as a RTT therapist or coach, click the profile image above, and there's a link there where you can pop a time in my diary and we can jump on a call for half an hour, 40 minutes. And I won't promise you no selling, nothing like that, but I do promise you a breakthrough. I love this stuff. I've been doing it for years, and I'm here to help. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.